Good morning, y'all. Just want to share a story with you that it's kind of crazy, and these things end up being commonplace. But I just realized I got to share this with you guys. So I went to California recently, trying to get some work done on this new thing that I just announced on LinkedIn yesterday. So check it out. But the point of this story is that I got on the airplane and both going out and coming back, I had really unexpected encounters with folks that were sitting right next to me that I would never have guessed would have happened, and it's all about Jesus, which is kind of crazy because when I got on the plane to fly out to San Jose, I sat down and first off, the guy next to me, older Asian guy, broken English, asked me, can you switch with my wife? And he kind of points, across the aisle, and his wife's sitting over there, in the middle seat, right? And I had already resolved that I needed to do this intense Bible study, and it was going to take me hours. And so I thought, what the heck? I'm going to be hunched over a book anyway. It doesn't matter where I sit. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll switch with her. So I go sit in the middle seat, and the woman who was on the aisle seat in my new row kind of looked at me and she's like, oh, that's a very nice of you. And, I'm sure someone is going to pay it forward for you sometime. And I was like, yeah, thanks. I don't mind. And I remember thinking to myself, and this is sucky, but it's true. I remember thinking to myself thoughts about this woman that I was sitting next to and the kind of person she probably was, just based on her dress and whatever. And it wasn't like critical or anything, but I remember just it wasn't someone that I thought I would have a lot in common with, or it wasn't someone that I thought I would end up talking about Jesus or in any way, right? And so I put my headphones in and I get down and I'm studying Joshua and Caleb, and like 2-3 hours into it, I get this tap on my shoulder. The woman sitting next to me, take my earphones out. She says, "Are you a minister?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a minister in the traditional sense of the word, but, I'm just doing this Bible study because I feel like God's going to talk to me through it based on how it came about." And we end up talking for the next hour and a half, okay? And she just starts opening up to me about, the fact that she was just on the East Coast visiting her family and her mom who's dying. And we end up talking about her job as a hairdresser in Menlo Park, and I end up telling her what I'm working on, and she literally says to me like, wow, there's somebody, I cut someone's hair who I think should know about this. And long story short, I get off the plane, I'm literally thinking to myself, wouldn't it be like God to sit me next to someone who I don't think that I have any connection to, and I have all these fancy meetings lined up with, wealthy venture capitalist type people in the Bay Area expecting, funding or advice. And wouldn't it be like God to have it come through, a hairdresser that I meet on the plane, and, because she sees me with my Bible open. And I should also add that this woman probably wouldn't consider herself a Christian, maybe, doesn't go to church, but literally by the time we left is like wondering about God and like, is God really speaking to me? I mean, she literally said at one point, like, this is so strange that we're talking because when I was home, my family wanted to go to church, and, I was like, we don't go to church, and she went, and, it kind of spoke to her. And then now she's having this conversation with me. And so I really encouraged her, to listen to that and pursue that. In fact, she asked for my contact information, which I gladly gave to her. And, she took down my name and the name of my family members and offered to pray for us, and I offered to pray for her as well. And it was just this rich encounter. And we gave each other a big hug by the time we got off the plane, and it was really, really cool, and really unexpected. So then I'm leaving San Jose to fly back to Philly, and another situation. Sit down on the plane, and this couple walks by, and now I had a connecting flight in LA, so I'm leaving LAX, flying to Philly, and this couple gets on. They sit right behind me, and the only reason I noticed them is because the woman had a hat on that was the exact same hat that I had bought Whitney at some point. It was a California hat, not unlike this one, that had the California bear and a heart, and same hat Whitney had. So I saw it right away. But I remember the thought going through my mind that it's like they were pretty stylish, pretty young, pretty attractive, and I was just like, it's not like I wouldn't have anything in common, but and maybe this is more a statement of my own heart, but I had this thought like, they're just of the world and they probably don't know Christ, right? And I didn't get hung up there, but it's just a thought that came about. And long story short, by same thing, earplugs in, diving into my work, and the plane's getting ready to land in Philly, and I take my earphones out, and I hear this couple behind me talking about this Bible study that they're doing. I was like, get out of here, that's interesting. And so as we stood up to get off the plane, I said, hey, I heard you guys talking about that, that's pretty cool. And they told me that, they're like, yeah, just small talk, right? Nothing really necessarily clicked or whatever. I got off the plane. I start walking to get, an Uber home. And next thing you know, this couple's like running down the terminal, and they're like, hey, we just feel like we're supposed to like stay in touch with you, and I was really blessed by that. We ended up sitting in the terminal talking for like 20 minutes about their faith, and they said, we just starting to get into our faith. We just decided we want to read the Bible for ourselves. And we had this great conversation. It was really encouraging, I think, and they thanked me, and again, they got my card and my information, and it was just another reminder. It's like people can look not stylish, too stylish, whatever, and I can have these ideas about like what God is doing in their life, but the reality is, God is drawing a lot of people to himself, and sometimes it's just a matter of listening to the conversations around us or actually having our Bible out, and it has a way of drawing people in. And so literally on my flight out to the West Coast and back, I had these rich encounters with people on a plane, and I just an encouragement to keep your eyes open and just realize that God is doing something, and he's really drawing people, and maybe even the person next to you who you think is the last person that God is talking to, or the last person that you're going to be able to connect to, and that just might be the right person. So hope that's of some encouragement to you guys.